Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Murphy. It's time for reading. In today's lesson, we're going to go back and reread Me, Jane. Before we read the story though, we need to talk about some of the power words in the story. This will help us understand things better. After we're done talking about the power words, I'll talk about our purpose for reading today. Curious. Say it with me. Curious. When you are curious, you want to learn or know about new things. For example, these boys are curious about lizards, so they're reading a book to learn more about them. Our next word is observe. Say it with me. Observe. To observe something means to watch it closely and pay attention to it. The girl in the picture stands nearby to observe or watch the ducks. Our last word is study. Say it with me. Study. When you study something, you look at it closely to learn about it. This girl is studying the flower to learn about its different parts. Now that we talked about the power words, let's talk about why we're rereading this text. Today, we're going to go back and reread the story and make inferences. When you make an inference, you're thinking beyond the text. You're using picture clues and word clues to help you understand it better. All right, friends, let's get to it. Jane had a stuffed toy chimpanzee named Jubilee. What is Jubilee? You're right, a chimpanzee. Is Jubilee a real chimpanzee? No, he's a stuffed animal. She cherished Jubilee and took him everywhere she went, and Jane loved to be outside. She watched birds making their nests, spiders spinning their webs, and squirrels chasing one another up and down trees. Jane learned all that she could about the animals and plants she studied in her backyard and read about in books. What are these drawings and pictures? Maybe they're pictures of the animals that Jane drew in her notebooks. One day, curious Jane wondered where eggs came from, so she and Jubilee snuck into Grandma Nut's chicken coop, hid behind some straw, and stayed very still. Why do you think Jane stays very still? Well, I was thinking if you stay still, you might not be noticed. I'm thinking Jane might not want to scare the chicken so she can get to see it lay an egg. And observed a miracle. It was a magical world full of joy and wonder, and Jane felt very much a part of it. Jane often climbed her favorite tree, which she named Beech. She would lay her cheek against its trunk and seem to feel the sap flowing beneath the bark. Jane could feel her own heart beating, beating, beating. With the wind in her hair, she read and reread the books about Tarzan of the Apes, in which another girl, also named Jane, lived in the jungle of Africa. Do you think Jane liked the books about Tarzan and the apes? I think so too. How could you tell? Well, the text says that she read and reread the books. I know the books I usually reread are the ones that I really like. Jane dreamed of a life in Africa too. A life living with and helping all animals. At night, Jane would tuck Jubilee into bed, say her prayers, and fall asleep to awake one day to her dream come true. Did you notice the picture on this page is different than the whole rest of the book? You're right, it's a photo, not a drawing. Why do you think the author chose to use a photo instead of an illustration? Well, photographs show things that happen in real life. I think it shows that Jane really did grow up to study animals in Africa. If you like this story, don't forget to like and subscribe.